The big game has finally arrived, but guys, I can only warn you one more time. It's just another game, and that's the perspective you have to have going into this. Listen, there are three types of guys that gamble on the Super Bowl. There's your everyday, every week gambler that's been here through thick and thin since the end of August. Then there are the guys who perhaps won a little early and then got crushed, and they're coming back trying to get it all back in one fell swoop today because it's the biggest game of the season in their minds. And then there's the casual gambler, the amateur gambler, the one that drives the line in Vegas today more than anybody else, who comes out of the woodwork the same way they suddenly become huge USA fans when World Cup soccer is being played. The same way, even though they've never been to a horse track in their life, will watch the Triple Crown races if something's at stake. They come out because it's the thing to do. There's a reason why this is the single most heavily wagered sporting event in the world on a single day. Now, gambler number one, he knows exactly what he's doing because he does it for a living practically. Gamblers number 2 and 3, those are the guys that have to be the most careful because, listen, if you bet more than you can afford to lose and you don't have the right allocation system in terms of your bankroll, that's when you get in trouble. That's when often you put yourself in a deep financial abyss from which there is no escape. So gamblers number 2 and 3, those are the ones that must be careful. Now, in terms of my perspective on this game, listen, guys, I have a 10-dime play on this play. This game. Same 10-dime play I had last year on New England over Seattle. And how did that one end up? My goodness, it was either you were in love and happened to be on the Seahawks and it looked like you were going to win, or that fateful interception suddenly made you a loser and turned the Patriots into winners. Listen, last year, I didn't even watch the game, okay? I'm in a Walmart parking lot watching the game, the final minutes tick down on my Verizon NFL mobile phone, and suddenly you know how the game turned. I'm on the Patriots. I turned the damn game off. I hand the phone to my wife, and my wife, this is the same person who tells me just a couple of days ago, I don't like playing on this casino video poker on Thursdays because I never win on Thursdays, but I always win on Tuesdays. How can you refute that type of logic, okay? That same person says to me, well, maybe New England will come up with an interception and they'll stop Seattle from scoring. Maybe she's right. Maybe people don't win on Thursdays where she goes. I mean, who am I to doubt her with that type of logic, right? But it just shows you. I mean, it's like betting the coin flip. It's heads or tails. It's a 50-50 betting proposition. So later in this report, I'm going to get to your prop plays, and I'm also going to give you a total as well. But again, back to me. To me, it's just another 10-dime play. And I rate my plays 5, 10, and 15 dimes 99% of the time. So it's right there in the middle. It's not as strong as my 15-dime college basketball winner, number 9 out of 11 yesterday, with Michigan State hammering Michigan and Ann Arbor by 16 points as a 3.5-point road chalk. And it's not as strong as that ultra-rare 20-dime college basketball release, of which I'm 5-1 this season, that I had last Sunday on Duquesne in college hoops. So, again, it's just another play for me. But that doesn't mean I don't want to win it, especially considering I'm going for winning day number 14 out of 17. No ifs, ands, or buts. The hottest handicapper here at the site. If you happen to be one of these guys who has taken a siesta for the last 2 months and you're just coming back and you haven't been paying attention, it is no ifs, ands, or buts. Again, I'll say it, Trace Adams. Today, he's going for winning day number 29 out of 40, number 16 out of 21. $1 bettors have made over 55 grand over the past 117 days. Think about that, 117 days, 55 grand on almost a 4-month period. Today, double your wager, 2,000 star winner number 17 out of 22 on your Denver, Carolina side. It's the half price play of the day by using coupon code DOUBLE, DOUBLE. Matches of previous 2,000 star winners that had on Clemson, getting the backdoor cover against Alabama. His Rose Bowl winner was Stanford, annihilating Iowa. His championship game winner with Carolina, crushing Arizona. This play is just as strong, and it's bigger than his 15,000 star raised to bar winner number 11 out of 12 yesterday with NC State getting the cover against Duke. Listen, he's won, I think, 8 of the past 9 days. He is the half price play of the day. The coupon code is DOUBLE. Little heads up for you, and I don't do this to confuse you, but I do this to help those that already have packages with certain handicappers. There's no need to buy a duplicate package if I can help you out and give you some heads ups. So here's one. Anthony Red, who's seeking his 4th straight championship game winner. He has his 100-dime NFL winner number 3 in a row going today on the same side as Trace. NFL 100-dime winner number 1 was Carolina crushing Dallas on the road on Thanksgiving. Number 2 was Green Bay easily over Washington in that wild card game all those weeks ago. He's coming off a 100-dime college basketball winner number 14 out of 19 on Arizona yesterday. This play is just as strong, and it's bigger than the 75-dime side winner he had on the Patriots last year, the 40-dime side winner on the Seattle Seahawks the year prior, the 75-dime play that he had on the Ravens outright a couple of years ago, the Giants outright. Jeez, I really messed that up. Hey, look, you can read his site and you can figure it out yourself. Listen, it's bigger than all those plays, and he's on the same side as Trace. But, and you knew there was going to be a but, right? Craig Davis, who, first of all, I want to say wish him nothing but the best. Today is his last day here at the site after a near 7-year run. He's got a family business growing by leaps and bounds, and he's going to pursue that full-time with his wife. Craig Davis, who's going for winning day number 20 out of 38. A guy who has made, since New Year's Day, $10 bettors, a little over $10,000. A guy who has made NFL bettors, and let me just check on his site. Since 2011, he's made them over $12,000. He has his 100-dime max wager winner number 9 in a row on the opposite side of both Trace and Anthony Redd. So again, I don't mean to confuse you, but I at least want to point that out. Jeff Benton is going for another 75-dime playoff winner and another Super Sunday total winner after he cashed in with the Patriots in Seattle last year going over, and you can get that at a discount. Matt Rivers, for the second straight year, has decided to eschew the side selection, eschew the total play in this game, and instead he's got his favorite prop plays. Now, listen, prop plays to me, it's no different than going into your local cellular store, and by the time you walk out with that new phone, you've also bought those add-ons that generate the profit for that cell phone carrier. Yes, you bought that $30 case. You bought that $20 template to put on the screen protector. You bought that high energy or quick fast charging car charger. By the time you're done, you bought $80 in accessories, and that's where they make their money. Trust me, I know I was in sales long enough. Same thing goes with prop plays. You know, the handle, and that's the total amount of wagers being wagered in Vegas today on this game. Probably about 35% is going to be devoted to prop plays. God knows why. But listen, he's got his top 10, and he also gives you the reasoning and the logic behind those plays as well. It's not like he's just saying, play this for any old reason. And listen, bottom line with the coupon, you can get them all for $19. So check it out all on the homepage for your other coupons, discounts, blah, 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 blah. Listen, guys, I'm going to go with the over in this contest. This total is hitting right around 44 and a half. I know Denver has such a great defense, and listen, Carolina's defense is nothing to sneeze about either, but I just don't picture this Carolina offense, an offense that has been a two-headed monster all season long, running the ball with Cam Newton and Jonathan Stewart, a Carolina offense that has averaged over 31 points a game, number 1 in scoring in the regular season, is going to be silenced by that Denver defense. At the same time, however, this Carolina defense has certainly shown its warts of late. I go back to that game against the Giants in New Jersey where they had the monster 37 lead and they couldn't hold off the Giants in the second half of that game. I look at how they had that second half collapse up 31-0 and then let Seattle reel off 24 straight points in the second half of their first playoff game. I look at the Arizona game, and if it wasn't for Carson Palmer with the 4 interceptions, Arizona was certainly moving the ball, weren't they? So I think this Carolina defense, although statistically very strong, will allow its share of points here today. And I'm looking at this game, and to me, because of the hysteria involved with, hey, Denver's got the number 1 defense in the country, they're so stiff, they're so tough, blah, blah, blah. They're not playing at home, guys, okay? And they're not playing a wooden leg quarterback like Tom Brady, who has no mobility in the pocket. And they're not playing a sore-shouldered Ben Roethlisberger, who still threw for over 300 yards against them in 2 games this season. And they're not playing at home. So I look at that price, and I think it's deflated at 44. I think it's an undervalued. I think this total should have been around 47 or 48, so I'm taking the over in this contest. Now, let's get to your prop plays. One of my favorites is always the coin flip. because I just like taking heads. Listen, it's even money proposition. It's the same even money proposition as sitting there and watching the whole damn game plus the halftime show. And please, if you get bored at the halftime show, I certainly understand. I will not be investing a minute of my time in that. So I like heads. Why? Because in 6th grade, I had a elementary school teacher who made us flip a coin 100 times and see the results. And the overwhelming majority in the 6th grade class got heads. Listen, you want science to back up whether it's heads or tails? I'm giving you the best shot here. I'm taking heads. It's even money. What the hell? Now, a couple of other things. I like Jonathan Stewart's total rushing yards at 68.5. I like that over. Minus $1.15 is generally the price you're going to find that. Think about that. Stewart, when the Carolina offense kind of struggled in the final 3 games of the regular season, it was because Stewart missed those games with a sprained foot. He came back, looked strong, 19 carries against Seattle, 19 carries against Arizona, produced over 80 yards in both of those games. And let's face it, he is one of the main keys to this Carolina offense. They've got to establish the run to keep Denver's pass rush out of Cam Newton's face. So for me, I'm going to take him over 18.5 rushing attempts at minus $1.15. And I'm going to take him over 68.5 yards rushing at minus $1.15 as well. Now, let's look at Denver's running game. It's clear to me that Chris Anderson is the guy that they're going to rely on, and for good reason. After a slow start, he really powered the ground game the second half of the season and in the first 2 playoff games as well. That means Ronnie Hillman, who although he led the team in total rushing yards this year, his role has been diminished. And let's face it, he's a better pass catcher and a safety valve back in the out backfield for Peyton Manning than he is really a runner anyway. So his over-under in terms of total carries is 10.5. I'm going to take this one over. I know I got to lay a little more, minus $1.45, but it's no different than a minus $1.45 baseball bet in the middle of July, and that's the way I look at it. So I'm going to take, once again, Hillman and the under 10.5 carries at minus $1.45. There is one more prop I want to discuss. It's not available at all places, so you have to kind of shop around for this one. Over 2.5 players to attempt a pass in this game. So that means you got to have at least 3 guys throw a pass in the game. Here's why I'm thinking this might be the way. So you got Cam and you got Peyton. If Manning struggles, is Gary Kubiak going to be afraid to give the hook and go to Brock Osweiler? I don't think so. And is there always the potential for Carolina to try some trickery and have a receiver or a running back throw a pass? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I just think that this is a nice proposition play, and I like, again, over 2.5 players attempting a pass. Another one to think about, too, is will either backup quarterback take a snap? Let's say Peyton Manning is winning. Let's say the Broncos are winning, and maybe this is Manning's last game, and they pull him to let him get a well-deserved ovation from the fans. Well, that means Brock Osweiler would come in and take a snap, right? Or let's say, Denver is losing, and they pull Peyton Manning. So just based on those 2 factors in the Broncos quarterback situation, I think having either backup quarterback take a snap is another interesting proposition. But again, this is not available at all sports books. So to recap, I like the over. I like Jonathan Stewart, total rushing yards to go over 18.5. I like his, total rushing yards to go over 68.5. Total rushing attempts for Jonathan Stewart to go over 18.5. I like Ronnie Hillman's total rushing yards to stay under 10. Total rushing attempts to stay under 10.5, and I like the coin flip to be heads. Now, quickly, for years I made, I kind of made a mark before it was even popular, predicting what happened with the national anthem over-under, because at the time I was doing like 30, 40 radio interviews a week, and I was on TV in New York and Chicago and Philadelphia, so it was one of those cute little prop plays that used to get a lot of press, and hell, I hit the first 5. I lost last year with Rhonda Fleming's over-under. She was the opera singer that sang the national anthem. Lady Gaga's doing it this year. And last year, I thought that it then became an awful prop play for a number of reasons, because the line, in terms of time she would be singing, jumped all over the place, because I felt, since people were watching her practice, that it was almost like inside information affecting the line. And from that point forward, I decided No more. There is no value in coming up with that cutesy play on the over-under for the national anthem. Instead, I'd rather just take heads and get it over with. That'll do it, guys. Best of luck to you all. Remember, I'm not going anywhere here tomorrow. I know a lot of handicappers outside of this site like to hang their hat on a shingle and say gone fishing and back for March Madness, or they'll stay through March Madness and then disappear until next year's football season starts. That's not the deal. You see so many guys here: Chris Jordan, Scott Delaney, Trace Adams, Brad Wilton, myself, Chuck O'Brien, the hottest college basketball handicapper here at the site, that have been on phenomenal runs since the calendar flipped to 2016. And we're all going to be here tomorrow with the plays as well. So a lot of money to be made. Understand that less than 2 months from now, the title game for the Final Four will be played in Houston. So we've got about 8 weeks of action to look forward to and a lot of money that could be lining our pockets. Good luck, everybody, and I'll catch you again tomorrow when we do this one more time.